Scenario 4, Territory. Looking out of his window, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, watches in frustration as the streets flood with thugs and villains. For years, Fisk has delicately won control of the city's crime rings. Information and manipulation flows through him, making the Kingpin one of the most powerful influences in the city. But now, the raft is spilling superpowered prisoners into his city to take back territory for themselves. I won't stand for this. Call my men, we're taking back the city tonight, Kingpin shouts to his assistant as he races confidently to the elevator. The heroes arrive at Times Square, overwhelmed by all the activity. Civilians are hiding inside behind cars and in alleys as thugs loot everything they can get their hands on. A woman dressed in dark red ninja-like robes approaches your group. You look like you need some help, Elektra smiles. Any chance you've seen Kingpin? Kinda looks like a cross between Mr. Clean and the Michelin Man. Daredevil jokes. Yeah, come with me. Kingpin's racing around the city with his goons trying to take back control. But he doesn't care who he hurts along the way. We're going to need all the help we can get stopping him from flooding the streets with his goons. So here's the board. Right in front of us we have Avengers Mansion, which is where Kingpin is, Stark Labs, New York Cops, Times Square, Central Park, and Avengers Tower. Now, we've only got the three heroes, which is Daredevil, Elektra, and Luke Cage. So, Kingpin has 8 health. And in all honesty, I am a little bit worried about this scenario because we don't have many heroics. They're very much a power-heavy group. And I think we can do it because we have dropped lucky with the threats. Both the connections are here right next to us. That is extremely lucky on a bit of random card generation. Not that bothered about Bullseye. He's usually not that bad a threat. Yes, he does 1 damage here and to the 2 adjacents, but in all honesty, we've got the power to take him out very, very fast. These are the ones I'm concerned with the most, especially with not drawing the cards for the heroes just yet. But let's have a look at Kingpin's board. So for his special setup, we shuffle the 6 plan locations and place them on each location with the number facing up. And as you can see, we got 1, 5, 3, 4, 6, 2 basically going around. And then for his powers, as I say, he's got 8 health. His special rules: when a hero is KO'd, Kingpin doesn't activate his BAM, instead he plays another Master Plan card. On a BAM, he deals 1 damage to each hero in his location. Overflow: if you can't control it, then you suffer a damage in the location you're in that's overflowed. And the whole idea of him winning is he's trying to discard all 6 plan tokens. So yeah, we need to act really, really fast because his Master Plan cards, he basically takes away the tokens and keeps causing overflow. And as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3 locations which are very close to overflow. And if he goes 1, 2, or even 3 and then drops civilians or thugs, then yeah, they're going to overflow straight away. So, going to be very interesting. Kingpin, of course, starts the game though, and he has got a move 4, and he's going to place 4 civilians. I've already placed the civilians. This one had overflow, but no one's there, so it doesn't suffer any damage. So Kingpin just moves 4. Elektra is going first, and she's going to move and punch. So what she does is she punches Bullseye, just like that, and then moves towards the Kingpin's location. Daredevil is using his 2 heroic card, along with Elektra's move and punch. So the first thing he does is he punches Bullseye. So Bullseye has 3 health left. He then moves to the Kingpin location and then places his 2 heroic tokens. So Luke Cage is going to use his move and heroic action. So all Luke Cage is going to do is he's moving to the New York Police Headquarters and he is going to clear that threat right there. At the end of the turn, you may discard one thug from any location. So I don't think I'm going to do it. Kingpin is up next, and he draws a 2 move and bam, along with placing 3 civilians. So I've added the civilians, and I did forget about Avengers Mansion. That threat there basically turns everything into thugs, all civilians. So yeah, I've done that, and as you can see, locations have filled up, and he's just going to move 2. He will bam, but obviously does nothing because no one is there. But Bullseye's effect comes into play, so he deals 1 damage to each hero in that location and both adjacent ones. So all 3 heroes suffer 1 damage, and then we discard 1 civilian from each of those locations without heroes. So yeah, that's it. So Elektra, on her turn, she uses her punch token. So Elektra first uses the heroic on here to clear this threat. She then moves to where Bullseye is and punches him in the face, leaving him with 2 health remaining. Daredevil hasn't got many useful cards, so I'm going to play the Man Without Fear. And that's just a heroic, but for every civilian I rescue, I gain a movement token. So Daredevil punches a thug, which is there, then uses a heroic to rescue a civilian. But unfortunately, because secrets are still in play, that civilian is just discarded, but you still get to claim the movement token, which might be beneficial. Luke Cage hasn't got much decent cards either, so the only one really of use is the superhuman strength. And what this basically means is for that turn, you can have as many extra punch tokens as the number of cards in your hand. I have 2 cards in hand, so he gets 2 punch tokens. We need to start clearing some threats though. So for Luke, I'm going to move him to Stark Labs. Place the heroic there, and then because I've got 2 punches, I'm just going to punch those 2 thugs in Stark Labs. So Kingpin, he has drawn a 1 move, and then he's going to place 3 thugs. So I believe Kingpin just moves to Stark Labs. And then the 3 thugs are in the next location, so I think it's this one. So that just causes overflow there, which basically does nothing. So I've just drawn a 2-punch card for Elektra, and I feel this is probably the best time to use it. So yeah, could take Bullseye out, but I think I'm going to leave that for Matt. So she's going to move to New York Police Headquarters and then take out these 2 thugs because we need to start eliminating these thugs. We're getting close to clearing the threats and we need to start getting a second threat ready to clear. So again, just drew a move and a rogue for Daredevil, and I do feel it's the best time to use it because it will help out Luke Cage. So we're going to move Matt. We're going to 2-punch Bullseye and clear that threat right there. And then what I'm going to do is use the heroic on that, but it does nothing. And then you can rescue 1 civilian from this location. So we will, even though it basically does nothing, it just clears the area. So I might be knackering myself up here, but Luke hasn't got many good cards. So I'm just going to use his 2 heroic and that move. So obviously I've place the 2 heroics where he is, which clears this threat. And then I'm just going to move to Avengers Mansion. So Kingpin has drew a move 3 and bam. Seriously, no advance the plan cards. Watch them all be on the bottom. Who knows? But anyway, he's just going to move 3, bam, and then he's going to place some civilians. So I've placed the civilians. That one causes overflow. No one there to do any damage. Then we have these 2 right here. And then Kingpin is just going to move 3 and bam. So he does no damage to anybody. Really struggling to find some decent cards here. And Elektra basically has these 2 wilds to use. That is really all I've got. So she's going to move for a wild. She's going to punch a thug for another wild. And then use a heroic to rescue a civilian, which just gets discarded. And then at the end of the turn, she can rescue another one. So may as well, I suppose. Really struggling here for decent cards. So Daredevil, he's going to use his move and punch along with Elektra's double wild. So Matt, he moves, punches a thug, and then uses the double wilds to basically save these civilians, which just go into discard pile. You may move up to 2 thugs or 2 from this location to any other location, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, really struggling with card draw. Kingpin gets his first advance the plan. Place him in the location with the lowest number plan token and discard it. He's then going to bam and place 4 thugs. So Kingpin, he moves to number 1, which is here. You just flip it over because that means that plan is complete. Already placed the thugs. He bams, but obviously nothing happens. And that's it. So I'm finally feeling a little bit better now that Luke Cage has just drawn this regenerative healing factor. So he gets to draw 2 cards. So he's back to 4 health now. And yeah, we're going to move and double punch. So he moves to the Stark Labs and he double punches. Those 2 thugs right there that Kingpin just placed. And that means that Kingpin can now sustain damage because that's the 2nd threat cleared. Elektra finally gets a move card I've just drawn. So she's going to play that along with Luke Cage's punch. So all she does is she moves to Kingpin and punches him in the face, leaving him on 7 health. It's Kingpin's turn though, and he gets to advance the plan. So he's going to move into Luke Cage's location, and he's also going to bam and then drop down 4 thugs. So Kingpin moves to advance the plan, so he circles all the way around. And then he's going to bam Luke Cage, so doing 1 damage to him. And then place all the thugs, basically, which doesn't cause any overflow. So Daredevil is too far away to get to the Kingpin and actually do anything of significance. So what I've gone to do is I'm going to help Luke Cage out, who's going next with a double wild, and then hope that something happens to draw Kingpin towards Daredevil next turn, because after Luke Cage, Kingpin's going to go, obviously, and we need something to get Elektra and Daredevil near, because I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of the plan cards from now. So there's 3, there's 4. We need everyone over this side of the board, realistically. So hopefully that helps. Luke Cage can do a lot of damage. So all I'm going to do with Daredevil is move him to there. Basically, because if we draw that, we're going to be suffering damage from the BAM, so we don't want that. And then, because he probably will be dropping people down, I'm going to use the 2 heroics to save 2 civilians from that location. Does nothing, yeah, they're discarded, but I feel as though that's better just to hope that Daredevil doesn't suffer damage with an overflow. So I'm going to use Luke Cage's double punch with Daredevil's 2 wilds. That means 4 punches towards Kingpin. So he punched Kingpin 4 times, which leaves him on 3 health. Now, that's not going to do a lot for Elektra, so she might just have to move to here and probably clear those out. Maybe. Yeah, unsure. Need to see what Kingpin does, basically. So Kingpin, of course, advances the plan. Probably all his cards left in his deck are now advance the plan, I have a feeling. So we need to keep an eye on the 4, 5 and 6. They're basically all over this side of the board. So that's what we need to do. But he's going to move to number 3, bam, and then drop down some thugs. So Kingpin just moves to number 3. Flips over the plan, he's got 3 left, and then I've placed the rest of the thugs. So yeah, hopefully we could do this soon. Elektra has nothing in use but this wild token, along with Luke Cage's 2 punches. So I'm just using the wild to basically move Elektra to there, and then using the 2 punches to clear 2 thugs out, which basically does nothing, but hopefully the wild might help Matt. So I'm going to use Matt Murdock, or Daredevil's wild card, his single wild, because I need to try and help Luke Cage out. This is what happens when you spread all over the other side of the board. I have also forgot that Matt had one of these as well, so we're going to use that. We're going to move him to there, and then with the 2 wilds that we have, we're going to place 2 punches on to Kingpin, which leaves him with 1 health remaining. So shockingly, we draw a 5 move for the Kingpin. I was expecting something else. Either way, he's going to move 5 and he's going to place, 6 civilians and 3 thugs. It might cause overflow here, so there might be some damage coming. So I really wasn't expecting that card. Kingpin anyway moves 5, and then I've placed basically the thugs and civilians. That one had overflow, but no one is there. So yeah, that's it. I think we probably will be doing this now. So I'm going to play a move and a punch with Luke Cage along with Daredevil's wild. So obviously I'm going to use Daredevil's wild to move Luke Cage. Then he's going to move using his and then punch Kingpin to the face, which knocks him out. That was tougher than I thought it would be. Very much so. That was tough. So I just want a quick look through his cards. He had 4 left. So, move 0 and bam. Advance the plan, advance the plan, advance the plan, isn't it? Yeah. So they were mainly at the bottom, a couple in the middle, obviously. But they advance the plan. I honestly was struggling because he can be all over the board, can't he, with how you have to draw them out randomly. Yeah, very interesting villain. Very interesting. I've lost to him the previous times I've played him before, and that was without using wilds. Obviously, the wilds make the game a lot easier, don't they? They really do. They make the game a bit too easy. You're always seen to be able to do something and be in control. That's why I usually play without the wilds, but you can lose characters in this campaign, and so that's why I have opted to use the wilds. But there we have it. Another great game to play. Just don't know when I can film the next one. That's the only only issue right now. Hopefully it will be soon. Let's continue on with the end of the story. The Kingpin's thugs are depleting and peace is slowly returning to the city. Do you have any idea what you've done? Kingpin shouts. I was what kept the city's crime in check. It's taken me years to chase out all the filth, and you just let them right back in. I thought you were the heroes. Easy there, big boy. Luke Cage chimes in, placing a foot on the Kingpin's back, pinning him to the ground. In case you're a bit clueless, a prison break just went down, so we're a bit outnumbered here. Doesn't help having to fight back your thugs while trying to re-imprison the others. Any chance you want to tell us what your prison buddies are planning? I'm not telling you a thing. You deserve every bit of damage that's coming your way. We don't have time to argue. We'll let S.H.I.E.L.D. handle Kingpin. Let's go see what updates Fury has for us.